Sumant,
Sir,
Sumant, I got to know that you have tried something. I mean, you have done some program, Android. You have done some Android app.
yes, sir.
Yeah, can we see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so please give the demo of it.
Good morning, everyone. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, Sumant. Screen is
Uh,
visible.
yeah. Uh, you can see the application name here. It's a VTU SGPA calculator. Uh, Users can calculate their SGPA with respect to any particular semester by providing their marks. So it's in Kotlin, not in Java. It's in Kotlin. So let's have a look on the manifest file. So so here you can see this application has two activities. One is the main activity, and another one is calculation activity. Main activity is the home screen for our app, and it's associated with the launcher. You can see here, and then we have again another activity called calculation activity. It is for calculation screen. So if you want to use any activity inside our app, then it should be declared in this manifest file. So if we try to access any activity without declaring in this manifest file, it will give some exceptions during runtime. So so let's move on to the layout files. So here we have activity underscore main.xml file. So it's the home screen for this app. In this, user will be prompted to select the semester. Uh, so as you can see here, I am using the linear layout as the root element. Inside that, we have a text view called TV select sem. In that, I'm displaying something message like select your semester to the user. Then after this, we have a spinner inside a linear layout. So when the user clicks on this spinner, a drop-down menu will pop up, and user select which semester he want to calculate the SCPA. So then again we have a button called proceed. So user can proceed with further calculation. So let's see how it works on the Android emulator. So it's already running. So here it is. So it's the home screen of this app. Here you can see a spinner. So if user clicks on this, a drop down menu will pop up, and he can choose any one of them from these options. So, but uh, you can see here we have only empty spinner, like nothing menu or something is not there. So what we are doing is we are adding those items dynamically during runtime. So let's jump back to the logic part of this activity. So here we have our on create method, which is one of the lifecycle method, which is going to execute first when the system is trying to create the activity. So in that we have a variable called sems. So in that we are getting the string array from the resources and storing in that variable. So in that string array, we are storing in that string array we are storing all that menu items. So that string array is located in the strings.xml file under values directory. So as you can see, here we have a string array named semester, which has 7 items. So we are collecting this string array from the resources and assigning into the variable called sems. So after this, we are using spinner sem adapter. So adapter is something which is responsible for adding menu items into the spinner. So it takes a layout file and data. Sem is nothing but it's a data for our menu items, and we have a layout, custom layout called spinner underscore items. So adapter will combine this layout and data and provide the menu for this spinner. So let's have a look on what is this custom layout. So here we have the custom layout. So as you can see here, I have added the text view and some declared some basic properties like padding and text size. So adapter will make a replica of this layout for all the data. So as you can see, here we have 7 items. Adapter will be going to this adapter will be going to make a replica of this layout for that all 7 items. So you can see here, this is the custom layout, and the adapter is making that layout for all items. So then we have a function called user defined function called proceed. It will be going to execute whenever user clicks on proceed button. So here we have proceed button. Here we have an attribute called onClick. In that I am giving the method name as proceed. So when user clicks on this button, it must execute this method. So let's see what's in this method. So in this method, we are declaring a variable of type integer, as you can see selected. In that variable, we are getting the selected item position from the spinner. So whether it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or something. So we are storing it in selected variable. If it's other than 0, then user can proceed with further calculation. That means its index is 0, its index is 1, so on. If its value is 0, that means user has not selected anything. If it's other than 0, in between 1 to 6, and user has selected some semester. So if the selected item value is other than 0, that means we can proceed to further calculation screen. So we are using an intent for that. Intent is something like a bridge between two activities. So it helps us to switch from one activity into another. So along with the intent, we are passing a value along with the intent, which is the value of the selected sem. So we can use that value in the another activity. So if the user has not selected any semester, we are going to alert the user that please select the semester, something like that. So for that, we are using toast message. Toast is something, it's a method to alert the user or give some information to the user. It will pop up some message at the bottom part of the screen. So this is the code for the normal toast. So but I'm using some third-party library called super toast for displaying the toast message. So it allows us to modify the toast, so we can customize our toast message. So you can see here, we can set the frame. So also we can set the background color. So we can set some basic transition. So these options are not available in normal toast, but with the help of some third-party library, we can achieve that. So let's see how it works. So here you can see if has not selected any semester, then he click on proceed. It will pop up something like it will it will pop up a post message that select semester. If user selected anything, then it's lagging, it's showing not responding dialog. Just wait for a second. Wait for a second. Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah, if we click on this, it will take the user into the another screen. So let's see the layout of the calculation activity. So here, similar to the first screen, we have linear layout as the root element. Inside that, we have a scroll view and another linear layout, which is supposed to display the result for the user. So inside that linear layout, we have text views for subjects and edit text for marks. The reason why I'm using scroll view here is like, as you can see, it looks fine in this particular device. So if there has something like a 6-inch device or 6.5-inch, it will looks fine. So user can see the whole content at a time. But if the user has something like 1080 into 1092 9020 resolution, then as you can see, he's not able to see the whole content at a time. User will not be able to see the whole content at a time. So he should scroll and see the remaining content. So that's why we should use a scroll view here. So if user clicks on this button, this calculator is going to execute. So if he clicks on this clear button, this all edit text become empty, and also this result will become empty. So let's get back to the logic part of this activity. So as I said earlier, we can pass the values with the intent. After launching this activity, in this on create method, we are getting the value from the intent. So as earlier we passed that value from here, you can see that the name is selected and value is something like 0 1 2 3 4 5 or something. So then we are collecting it back in this part. So it will be stored in the selected variable of integer type. So if the selected value is 1 or 2, that means user has selected first or second semester. Then we will change the text we use for that particular semester. If we selected the first sem, then we are setting the text views for first semester or second semester. You can see here these are all text views for that subject name. And also make a note that in some semester we have only 8 subject, but in some semesters we have 9 subject. So like for first semester, second semester, and second semester we have only 8 subject, but in third semester, fourth and fifth we have 9 subject, and again in sixth semester we have only 8 subject. In that case, we have to make the visibility of the text view to, so we have to change the visibility so that it will not appear on the screen. So I am changing the visibility to view.gone. So if the user is selected third sem, then it should have 9 subjects. So if the user has selected first or second semester, then it should contain only 8 semester. So we have to similarly do the things for all semesters, 4, 5, 6, something like that. So then again we have a function to clear all the values. It will just change the value of all edit text to something like null, or sorry, empty string. So also we are setting the result text view to empty string. Again, we have a user defined function called calculate. So in that, these are all M1, M2, M3 are the subject marks. We are getting the value from the edit text and storing that integer value in these variables. So as you can see here, function name txt to int. So it takes one parameter called edit text. It takes the edit text parameter, and it will return an integer value, and it will be stored in this marks variables. So this function is here. So as you can see, it takes edit text as the parameter, and here I am declaring a variable called result of integer type. So it will try to extract the integer value from this text. So first it will convert that string into first it will convert the text into string, then again it will convert that value into integer type. So for example, if the student has not appeared for any particular exam, he can leave that field blank, so that it will take the default value 0. So in that case, if this code is not able to get the integer value, if the blank string is given in that edit text field, so it will, by default, it will return 0. So after collecting those all marks, we are making a list of that marks, and we are storing it in marks variable. So then we have initializing all our values. So if we want to add something into the grade points without initializing something, then it will give some errors. So we must and should initialize them before adding something. So it is as you know, as per VTU norms, how much grade point for particular marks. If it is in between 90 and 100, then we are adding 10. If it is like in between 80 to 89, then the grade point is 9. So something like that for all marks. And we are storing all grade points in the variable called grade points. Then again we are for credit point purpose, we are multiplying that grade points with the credits. So that credits is here. So for each semester, the credits are different. So as you can see, like 4 semester has this credit values and 5th semester has this credit values. So it will multiply the credits with the grade points, and we will get the credit point. After that, we are making the sum of credit points and the credits. So as you know, the formula for SGPA, credits point sum divided by credit sum, it will give the result. So as per the VTU norms, it should be 2 decimal points. So that's why we are converting it into 2 decimal points, and we are displaying the result on here. So let's see how it works. I will input some marks. So if you observe here, it's only allowing the user to enter only like numbers, not allowing to any text. So if user clicks on calculate, it will it will give the result on this text view. So I can change any marks and the result. So if the user clicks on clear, all this field become empty, and also this text will become empty. So that's related to this logic part of this calculation activity. So if you observe the color scheme of this app, as you can see, this toolbar, this navigation bar has similar color. Also, this status bar has much similar color to this text view. So it is defined in this theme. So we have a directory called theme. In this, we have themes.xml and this for night theme. So it has like two themes. One is for day theme, one is for night theme. So if the system theme is light theme, then it will use this layout. Sorry, it will use these attributes for the application. If the system theme is dark, then it will use these attributes for the application. So but it must require Android 10 in order to operate. So like system wide dark theme is introduced in Android 10. Like below that versions, system wide dark theme is not available. So let's see how it looks in dark theme. You can change the property here. Go to night mode, and if we click on night, we can see how it looks in dark theme. So so here we have our theme XML file. We have like this kind of sky blue color is for primary color, and we have something like text color is black, and background color is white. So we can see the difference between these two themes. Just a second. Yeah. Now we can see it is the day theme and it's the night theme. So you can see color on primary is white in the day theme, and it's changing to black in the night theme. So similarly, background color is white in the day theme, and it's uh, it's changing into black. Similarly, we have text color is black in this uh, day theme, and it's changing into white in the night theme. So that's all, I think. uh, if any questions you can ask, I will try to answer.
Participants, if you have any questions from Sumant, you can. Sumant is already is ready for answering the questions. So indeed, it was a very good presentation, Sumant.
Thank you, sir.
I could see that you had even developed this application and posted this onto Play Store.
Yes.
So could you just tell us how exactly did you apply using a Google console, and how did you upload this app onto the Play Store? What are the conditions that you had checked for uploading the application onto the Play Store? Could you just convey that information to all the participants?
Yes, sir, sure. So here you can see the Play console is opening. So in order to use the Play console, you must have a developer account. So you have to some fee, like I think $15 or $25 maybe. You have to pay that value in order to get the developer account. It's a lifetime subscription, so you need not to pay again and again. So here we have like you can see this application name here, calculator. So once your application development mark is done, so that ಈಗ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಮುಗೀತು ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Like as you can see the option here we have option called generated signed bundle or APK. So if you want to upload our application into the Play Store, it must be signed. So signing is a procedure like we are verifying which developer has developed this application, something. So like if you want to provide the update for this app, then it must be signed in from the same developer. So after getting the signed APK, can see the play console here. Here we have a tab called production. So as you can see, it's already you can see there is already a release here, version 1.0 available on Google Play, showing something like updated on that particular date. So we can in this section we can create a particular release, and dashboard. Just a second. It's a draft release. It is not the real release. So yeah, it's the, just a second. So now you can see the option to create a new release. So if you click on this, so here you can upload your APK file or AAB file, something like AAB means earlier days we are only using APK. That will be the same APK file across all devices. But nowadays we are preferring AAB. Something is like we are uploading only some part of the application, and Google Play will automatically create the APK for the which whatever the device users are using. So it will automatically generate the APK and provide the APK for that user based on this on their device configuration. So you can upload your APK from here, and we can add, and you can add all details like release name, like version 1 or 2, something like that, and we can add release notes. So with this we have to add something like add a privacy policy to this app. Privacy policy to this app. So ನೀವು ಏನೇನ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಯೂಸರ್ ಇಂದ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಯೂಸರ್ ಪ್ರೈವಸಿನ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈವಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ then ads, you have to specify whether you are using ads in this app you are not. So also you have to mention app access, so application needs some access or not. So as you can see here, app is restricted on login credential membership location, so you have to specify that. Then we have a content rating, so you must specify which age group and which type of category is your app for. Is this for entertainment? We have to specify it. Is it a tool? We have to specify it as tool. So so it is for communication like messaging app or something, you have to specify it. So then news app, you have to specify whether it's a news app or not. So so after putting all these details and updating the APK file, they will going to review your app, and they are going to publish it on the Play Store. So I will open how it looks. So so here it is. Yeah, here you can see. Also, we have to put some screenshot of this app. 2 screenshots are mandatory. Like we have to write a simple description of what exactly it does, and here you can see the reviews, and also you can see at exactly which time it's updated and its size. So its size varies across device if we upload AAB. So as you can see, installs here, and its content rating, it's 483 plus. You have to specify the age rating. It depends on the content is present in your app. Then we have something like we can see the privacy policy by clicking on this. It's like a declaration that we are not violating your privacy, and we are not using your data somewhere else. So it's not like that. That's all I think.
Okay, thank you, Sumant, for the wonderful presentation. Indeed, it was a good presentation, and we could see that you had uploaded this application onto the Play Store. And you have also delivered regarding how, if anyone who develops an application wants to update the same in the Play Store, what are all the procedures that one has to follow. You have conveyed the information to all the participants. Now I'm sure that all the participants are able to follow this procedure, and they can develop their own applications and put that in the Play Store. So thank you, Sumant, for giving the
Thank
nice
you.
presentation. And you have also conveyed the information regarding how any application can be put onto the Play Store. Now, there was one, even today we have with us the Karthik Ganapati sir is also there with us. I welcome you, Karthik Ganapati sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Good
in
morning,
spite
sir.
of his busy- Good morning, sir. Indeed, it was as I hope you had seen the presentation of one of the participant by
Yes.
name Sumant, who has developed an application called SGPI Calculator and uploaded the particular application onto the Play Store.
Yes, sir. It was a wonderful presentation from Suman. And whatever the concepts I left out with respect to the Play Store things, he has explained it very beautifully. And he explained about the whatever the components
sir.
are related to the Android development, how it is going to be. He has just compared the things. It was very nice. I just had no I didn't had that content yesterday. Okay, but Sumant has done that part. I really need to appreciate for his efforts. It's a very nice application, Sumant. You had a very good try with respect
Thank
to
you.
the Play Store, because it's very difficult for a new company, for a learner to develop application and to load it to the Play Store. Okay, and you have tried it. You are level best. That's a really good thing.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Sudeep sir, please continue, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Karthik sir. Probably we have seen one presentation of the student now by name Sumant, who has developed this application using a Kotlin programming. I do hope that other participants are also got inspired from Sumant, and probably they might have developed certain applications. If any particular student has anything to be shown, probably sir has Karthik sir has given a demonstration, and even Sumant has given developed an application, and has given his demonstration. Now I would like to know if any other students has developed any other application apart from Sumant. They can showcase their application here. So this is the avenue and the platform that has been given to the participants to just showcase your applications that you have learned after this conduction of the workshop. So any participants who would like to share the thoughts here or share the demonstration? Anybody wants to demonstrate can start the demonstration process. Hemant, could you show your application, Hemant?
Sir, unfortunately, I'm not carrying my laptop with me, sir. I came to village yesterday night.
Okay. Karthik sir, would you like to have add anything to the participants?
Yes, sir. I have one point that I missed missed to explain in my previous classes. The thing is, there is one particular website called as Android developers. Okay, if you just type Android developers in Google, it will take you to one website. In that website, the code of the whatever the libraries or whatever the codes are relevant, whatever the applications you want to build, the type of applications what you are willing to build, that details are provided there. So it is something like a handbook for Android developers to follow. So for example, what are the libraries to be added? That will be given there. If what are the functionalities to be added, that also will be given there. It will also be having some example programs, how to create an application with respect to, for example, if you are, as Sumant was explaining regarding the calculator, that is a CGPA calculator. In that he has used some logic, right? So if you are having that logic, the framework of this logic, you need to have that. Apart from that, the rest of the things will be provided in this handbook. You need to refer for that. If one by one you need to refer, then only you will come to know where exactly, what exactly need to be added, so that that will be resulted as an application. So this thing I forgot to mention in my previous session. So just I was supposed to tell this one. Just go through that website, that is Android developers. If you type in Android, in Google, this Android developers, you will be having that website to you. So in that you can search for anything, any relevant application. For example, if it is a sensor based application, if you are using a particular sensor of your Android phone. So for example, proximity sensor, how this proximity sensor works, what are the imports you need to add, and what are the relevant examples provided. All these things are given there. So whatever the things relevant to that, you need to utilize it for your application. So this is what the left out thing I was supposed to mention you. So I forgot to mention this in my previous session. I just explained it to you. Nothing. It was apart from this. There is nothing else, sir.
Okay, Karthik sir, thank you very much for giving the information to the students, and I'm sure that students will completely have a look at what you said, and I'm pretty sure that since they have the internals probably tomorrow, I could see that students are not coming forward to present their application, but in spite of this, I'm really happy that at least some of the students have tried and develop the application and put that application onto the Play Store. So I'm pretty sure that they are going to use this application for a longer time. So there is a lot of takeaways from this workshop. I'm pretty sure that all the participants who have joined will have a lot of takeaways, and I'm sure that they are able to develop the different types of applications in the near future. So with that note, probably I think we have come to the session, end of the session. I'm sure that
Sir. Hello, sir. Hello, students.
I'm sure that I'm sorry for the inconvenience. There is a network delay, so I'm sure that the students will develop certain applications in the near days to come, and they will start the session for the day. Okay. So with that note, I think I'll hand over the session to Prasanna sir. Prasanna sir, you can take over.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Sudhir sir. Thank you, Karthik sir. Actually, these 5 days, it was very wonderful session. And I hope our students have learned so many things about Android development. And we faculties, we also learned so many things. Actually, I started Android development before 10 years. At that time, I was developing Android application in Android Studio. And now after that, I felt difficulty in migrating to that Android Studio. Okay, so then I left that Android programming. I was not in touch with that Android programming from many years, but now the subject is added in the V2 syllabus, and for that reason I started Android development once again. And before the starting of this workshop, I was also not very good in Android Studio. I was just I had just learned something from some theory and some videos like that. I had learned, and I was handling a little bit. But now I am very good in Android programming. I can develop an Android app up to that level. I have learned now. And I have also developed the programs for lab programs. There are 16 lab programs, and I have the code for all the 16 lab programs. But I don't want to give that code to students. I want students to develop that code. I have that code. So this lab, how you need to do means you should do differently. Every student should develop their own code. That is the thing I have taught for this lab. So guys, I have given 2 assignments. First assignment is, it is nothing but developing that visiting card. You know what is a visiting card and how it look like. You have to develop one visiting card in Android. Okay, that visiting card, it should have details like your organization name and your organization this one logo, and below that one there should be one line, and below that one your name and your destination and your address, phone number, email, everything it should be there in the visiting card. So I hope Karthik sir, he has explained you the development of layout very well, and you can develop that one on your own. Okay, so if you get any doubt in adding text or adding image or adding that line or adding that phone number, email, any other thing. So if you are having any doubt, you can contact me anytime. You know, we are using Moodle, and that Moodle, it will be providing a facility to contact with the faculty 24/7. So I will be available, and if you are having any doubt, you can ask me anytime, and then I will help you out how to develop that layout. Okay, that is simple one. That is first program, and that one will be your first assignment, and then I will be giving marks for each assignment. So first assignment I had given long back. That first assignment was installing that Android Studio and developing one Hello World program. That Hello World program, it is also not having anything. It is just layout program. So you need to. I think 51 of you have submitted that assignment, and 10 of you have not submitted. Okay, if you don't submit assignment, I won't do anything. I will just put 0. That's it. Okay, so please follow the assignments, and please follow the deadline and submit the assignments in the deadline. Okay, so if you submit the assignments in the deadline, then I can give you the assignment marks, and you know that assignment marks, it will be added for your lab internals, and finally it will be awarded for your exam. And this lab, so here nothing is there. You should know what you need to do, and then you should know how to do. Okay, so what you need to do, if you see that lab program question, by that you can get to know what you need to do, and then how you need to do that one. You should know that layout designing and also Java programming. So if you know that one, then you can develop that programs. Okay, so I hope you are not having any doubts in developing Android applications. Okay, for learning purpose, now you develop that visiting card, and also second program you develop that calculator program. Okay, calculator, you can do it in many ways. Okay, I am having a code in such a way that you will be entering the numbers. You will be entering 1 or 2 from the keyboard, and then you will be clicking on add, subtract, multiply, divide. Okay, like that 4 buttons are there, and if you click on that buttons, you will be getting the output. Okay, in that way also you can do that one. And yesterday Karthik sir showed you the design of one calculator. You can do like that also. Okay, so you can do the calculator in many ways. So it is not fixed design. It is there is no fixed design for developing that calculator. Okay, so like that you can develop calculator on your own. And I want that calculator application should be different. Okay, everybody should develop different type of calculator. Okay, so if anybody develop one calculator, if anybody can develop a calculator, outstanding calculator. Okay, let's see. Okay, students, I hope you are not having any doubts in that this one visiting card design and calculator design. If you guys are having any doubt, you can contact me anytime. Okay, I will be available. And if I not able to solve that problem, our Karthik sir is always available, and we can contact Karthik sir, and he will be helping for that one. Okay, so please ask doubts. Okay, I think today you will not be having any doubt. You try that one after your internals. That is, you try that one on Sunday. And if you are having any doubts, you can contact me after Sunday evening. Okay, Sunday evening to Wednesday, you can contact me. But don't make late to submit the assignment. Okay, submit the assignment before the deadline. Okay, that Wednesday and Saturday. So Wednesday and Saturday, you guys need to explain what you have developed. Okay, so if you are having any doubt, then I will be explaining my application. But my application, you should not copy my application. Okay, you should develop your own application. Okay, try to do that one. And if you are having any doubt, you contact me. You guys contact me. Okay, that's what I wanted to tell. And today actually we had planned for seeing the demo which you guys have developed, but you guys are telling you are having test tomorrow. So for that reason, I will not take much of your time. Okay, but learn this subject. And why you need to learn this subject is, you know how many Android phones are there. Okay, who are having Android phones. So if you, for example, if there is only 3%, ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ there may be only you, your father and your mother, then all three will be having Android phones. Okay, it is very rare. Now 2G, 3G phones are very rare. Everybody is having 4G Android phones. You know why is that happening? That is happening because of the revolution from Reliance and Reliance Jio. If you want to have Reliance Jio phone, Reliance Jio SIM, then you should have 4G phone or some feature phone. Okay, so everybody will be having 4G phone. So for that reason, Android is the most used operating system. Okay, there are a few phones with Windows operating system, that is very minimum number, and there are phones with Apple operating system, but it is very costly. If you want to have one Apple phone, then old Apple phone, that is which was released before 3-4 years, that will be costing you around more than 25,000. Okay, but Android phone, you know the rate of Android phone. So if you want to purchase any Android phone in 10,000, you will be getting good recent Android phone. So for that reason, everybody is having everybody is using Android. Okay, and also that one applications in iPhone, they are very costly. The reason is because iPhone applications, they will be having so many things, so many additional things will be there in that iPhone applications, but that will not be in the case of Android applications. Okay, as Karthik sir told, iPhone developer, you need to pay every year for that iStore, that is Apple Store, but Android developer, you need to pay only once. And for that reason, Android applications are cheaper. And also, if you want to download any application for your iPhone from the Apple Store, then you need to pay. Most of the applications, they are paid applications. So for that reason, using iPhone is very costly. But Android, that is not the case in Android. Okay, and also for iPhone applications, you need to take care of so many things. One of my friend is CEO of one mobile application development company, and he will be developing iPhone applications and also Android applications. He was telling like you need to take care of so many things like memory management and so many things for developing iPhone applications. Okay, so iPhone will be checking everything. There may be cases of memory leakage in some Android applications. Okay, but it will not be in the case of iPhone applications. Okay, iPhone applications are very secure, and your data is very secure in iPhone, but it is not the case in Android applications. Okay, while you are using applications, your data may be taken away from someone. Okay, for example, 2-3 days back there was one application which will be giving you that your body SpO2 level, oxygen level, your body oxygen level. You have seen that device. I think the device is in our IS HOD room. Okay, so if you see the device, you will be placing your finger in between the device, and that device will be calculating SpO2 in your body. Okay, for that one, some students have developed that application. Okay, one Android application is there. If you download that one, and if you place your finger in front of camera, then it will be reading your that oxygen level in your blood, and also it will be reading the
I think there is some internet
bit
connectivity
level,
problem.
and then it will be giving the result. Okay.
Continue, Prasanna sir. Continue.
Sorry, sir, there was a disturbance. Okay, I heard that that application is used to read your fingerprint, and from your fingerprint they can get your other details, and from your other details they can get that this one, your bank account details and everything. Okay, that may also be some cases. Okay, there may be some cases like that. Okay, but I am not sure whether it is there or not. But in Android application, there may be cases like reading data from your phone, and by using the data, the hackers, they can do anything for your data. Okay, so that type of problems will be there, but still people prefer Android phones only more than Apple phones. Okay, if you see in our India, we will be preferring features more than money. Okay, if we pay more money, then we will be getting many features in iPhone, but we don't want to pay more money. Okay, so for that reason, iPhones are very less in our country, and Android phones are very too many are using Android phones. So you can learn Android development, and you can become Android developer. Okay, and if you see Android Play Store, then lot of applications are there. If you just type some search string, then it will be giving you so many applications related to that one. For example, if you type calculator, okay, you will be getting millions of calculator. You will be getting thousands of calculator applications. Okay, so like that competition is there in Android development. Okay, if you learn Android development, then it is a good area in future. Okay, now also it is good. Okay, there are so many openings for Android development. In future also it will be good until some new operating system comes. Okay, so nothing is permanent. You know the story of phones. Okay, previously in the beginning, Nokia phones, that normal Nokia phones, they were using Symbian operating system. Okay, that phones were ruling the market. Okay, at that time it was very difficult to develop the application for Symbian operating system, and for that also we were using the programming language J2ME, Java 2 Mobile Edition. Okay, J2ME, that programming language we were using to develop Symbian operating system applications. Okay, but it was very difficult, and now Android, it is very easy to develop Android application, and it is very easy to place that Android application in the Play Store, and so for the reason Android is ruling the market now. Okay, now Android is the best operating system in the market, and it will be providing you a lot of job opportunities as a Android developer. Okay, that's it I wanted to tell. So learn Android correctly, and before completing this mobile application development laboratory, you should be very well enough to develop good Android applications. Okay, that's what I wanted to tell.
Okay, thank you, Prasanna sir, for
Yeah,
giving us the complete information about the Android application development and its corresponding usage. We would like to thank you for enlightening the students about how Android application is very important with respect to the future. So, with perspective, I think there are few things that I would like to convey before we conclude the session for the day. So it's always a saying that necessity is the mother of invention. So always with that quote, because of this pandemic, probably people are at homes and they are always trying to think what to do, what not to do. So this is a time I would say that you students can explore on certain new technologies and try to develop different kinds of applications using the Android phones. So I was just thinking that today we have machine learning, artificial intelligence, and so many other different types of areas where people are trying to do a lot of research. So I was thinking that probably why can't we develop a small kind of applications? The problem is there within around us. See, let's say that, for example, if I want to give you a small example, let's say that you fish tank, and see, every time whenever you want to make a fish tank a smart fish tank, how to do that? That means to say every time every time a particular water level, the pH level of the water contaminates, so automatically your mobile application should able to you should able to control your fish tank through your mobile device in such a way that whenever the pH level of the water is contaminated or it goes to certain threshold point, probably you can refill the water by eliminating the particular existing water contents. So in that way, probably this is how you explore new things. I just gave you an example of a fish tank. In the same way, let's say you have a car which is standing or a vehicle in front of your home. So nowadays we have this Tesla cars which is completely automated, right? So which is electric cars and so on. Now let's say you want to operate using an Android Auto configuration thing. Why don't we try to switch on a particular way using mobile phones? So these are the lot of avenues that which can give you a lot of exposure to explore new things and try to come up with certain new innovations. So innovations can be done at any. Only thing is what you require is a passion. So passion is something with lot of passion. I could see that Sumant was able to develop a good application which can calculate the SGPA. Probably I would like to add on few points to Sumant as an observation, which he can inculcate in his application for future release of the app. So one thing is you can even try to calculate the CGPA by considering the average marks of all the semesters of the students. So, and you can do this application for n number of people. Okay, so your application should not crash beyond certain threshold people. As and when the more number of downloads happens, probably at some point of a time the application might crash. So you can add some points to it. I hope Sumant is there and he is able to listen to me. Sumant, are you there?
Sir,
Yes, Sumant.
sir, what's the question? I did not get it.
See, you have done an application for calculating the SGPA, right? And,
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, what you can do is I could see in that application you have calculated up to 6th semester. Okay, so
Yeah,
you can extend that to 8th semester, up to 8th
sure,
semester.
sir. Yeah,
That is
sir.
one point.
We can do that.
Second point is you can even enhance this application by using and calculating the CGPA. CGPA.
Yeah, sir. For
When
that
you, yeah,
CGPA, we need to collect the all semester marks.
yes, exactly. So this you can do it. Probably it can be a wonderful application.
Yeah,
And probably what you can also do is you can even try to integrate and develop an app for calculating the IA marks. Let's
yeah,
say
sir.
I have the application. I want to develop an application for the department. Let's say, for example, you want to develop an application for the department, and you calculate the uh, you have to calculate the IA marks of the students. So can you develop small applications on that, connected to this?
Sir, I can try.
Yeah, you can try. Of course, there are a lot of ways in which you can try this. It's good that you had come up with certain nice application. I
Thank you, sir.
inform every other participants also to uh, uh, take the best use of the resources. As Karthik sir said, you have a community called Android Developers Community, wherein you can explore a lot of things related to Android application. And similarly, you can explore YouTube. See, today you have internet, which you can do anything with just a fingertips. You can type certain things in Google, and Google will able to give you a lot of information. So you have YouTube to look into the course details and try to explore on it. So you have so many other applications and courses available online, which you can take it up and try and develop certain applications. So this is, I hope this workshop was an eye opener to all the students, and this will be one step forward for taking certain applications or building a certain applications to the next level. So I'm sure all participants will be able to follow the same and uh, develop certain numerous different types of Android application in the near future. So with this note, I think I would like to thank all the organizers, my fellow participants, and my particular teammates who has organized this session. Of course, my non-teaching staff, Nagendra sir, thank you very much for hosting this particular session. And he has taken a pain to upload all the videos in YouTube so that everybody can access the resources from the web. Okay, so, and last but not the least, I would like to thank Karthik Ganapati sir on behalf of the entire NIIT family. I would like to thank Karthik Ganapati sir for his valuable time and sharing his knowledge with all of you. Thank you, sir, for your
Thank you, sir.
wonderful
I need to
presentation.
thank you for giving an opportunity for this. And before we conclude this, sir, shall I show some of the applications that I developed from in my office, so
Sure,
that
sir.
students
Sure, sir.
will be much more interested to develop some of the applications.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. You
Shall I
can go
share
ahead.
the screen now?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please.
Yes. Yes, I think you can see my screen now. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just demonstrating. I just connected my screen to this whatever the sharing part.
sir.
I'll just open
can
one of the
see, sir.
games. Okay, one of the games that we developed. Okay, this was built from the scratch. Whatever the animations, whatever the 3D animations, whatever it is here, it is built from the scratch from in my office. Okay. I'm the person who built it. It took almost 6 months for me to complete the overall animation and rigging of all this animated characters. Okay. I'll just show you. Wait. As you can see here, there is a dragon. Okay. For this, we used a platform called Unity 3D for developing this particular development for this game. Now you can see this is how it is going to work. So this is one option. and we can change the views also. So, and there are so many characters in this game. Okay, there are so many characters in this game. So this was developed. This was one of the applications that we developed. Next to this, we are having some more application. Wait a minute. There are some more applications. Let me try to show you. So this is one of the application. So let me change the character weight. Oops. So I think, wait a minute. Now you can see this character, right? So this should not crash. This also was built using what do you say, 3ds Max. This was built with long back. Right now we are not developing the games because we don't have time to develop this. But this was a time we developed. Okay. So this is what the application. And next to this, let me show some more for you people. Next to this, we are having the location. So these are the two games, and right now after this we can see it is getting the location. Okay, right after this we are just gathering the location, and we are going to share this location. This option, it was long back we developed this. I just took the older phone of mine to show you the demonstration of how exactly this application works. So it will just calculate the latitude and longitude, and you can send this location. Okay, you can share this location using WhatsApp or any other whatever the shared preferences. Okay, we'll call this as shared preferences. So you can utilize any of the option to share the particular thing. Okay, whatever the content, you can share this. Okay, so this is what the other application. It will be it was displaying the map, but right now the whatever the facility for this application is being expired. Okay, because the validity will be there. The Google coordinates or Google Map coordinates will be applicable only for a time period, for some particular time period. After that, it will go off. Okay, so it was not showing. We can share the location. What's the share location right now? We have in the WhatsApp. It is one of the features that we developed in 2015 itself. As you can see, if I open this, you can see the copyrights. It is in 2016. Okay, it belongs to VSC Software. So this was developed long back. Okay, at that time, no one was using WhatsApp. I hope. Okay, this was the application that we built at that time itself. Okay, after this, let me show some more to you. Wait a minute. Yes, wait a minute. Now you can see the modeling part. Okay. Now if I click on the image labeling part, now you can see I'll just zoom out. I will just zoom out. Wait. Now you can see by automatically it is taking. It is a laptop. Okay. If I place this to my watch, you can see this is showing as magnetic compass. By default itself, it will take the things by. As I told, this was an application built for a robotic company. Okay, so this is what by artificial intelligence. You can see this. Can you see this? Whatever it is there in front of the camera, it will automatically fetch the object. What type of object it is, and it will display the object name. So this is one, and after this we have one more. Wait, we are having so many applications that we developed. It is not sufficient for me to show all the things. Let me try to show. And this is what one of the applications that I built for my baby. I think you can hear the sound. Okay, this is a rattle, something like a baby rattle that I developed for my baby. Okay, next to this is yes, we are having the nearby. Yes. Wait a minute. The proximity locks and other things are there. Yes, the EMF calculator. The EMF calculator is an application. Let me show. Right. As you can see, electromagnetic flux, how much electromagnetic flux it is having. If I bring near to the the speakers of my laptop, you can see there is a different change in the difference. So this is what the EMF calculation. So this is one of the application. Okay. So using this, we can calculate the electromagnetic flux. That is the magnetic field around us. So this is one. Okay. So this is one of the applications. These are working under the sensors that we have available. With respect to the sensors, let me open and show you the application related to sensors. Wait a minute. I think. Wait a minute, because I don't remember what exactly it was. It was a very long back that we developed something similar to this. You can see the sound decibel meter using the whatever the volumes that I'm producing now. You can see the graph is increasing. If I keep quiet, the sound is getting reduced. So this is the decibel meter. It will calculate what exactly the surrounding the sound, whether it is the permeable range of sound is available, or whether it is exceeding the limit that we can calculate here. Okay, here itself we can see the minimum, average, maximum, and real time. Real time, because I'm just talking to you people, it is showing the real time decibel calculation. Okay, so this is one of the application. After this, the magnetic sensor. You can see the same magnetic sensor in x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. The threshold value of the magnetic field, because this is a magnetometer. As I told, all the Android phones are coming with the latest sensors. That sensors are capable of getting the readings in and around you. So using this sensors, we are just try to develop application mentioning from which direction the magnetic field is entering and from which direction it is coming to you. As you can see, the x-axis, the z-axis is getting the maximum value. So this is the one, and there are many other things. Wait a minute. I think the flash screen, I think this is known to you people. The flash. If I click on the flash will be turned on and turned off. That's what the flashlight of my whatever the backside flashlight is there, no? That will be turned on and turned off as a torch we can utilize. So this is one application, and these are small applications that I'm demonstrating to you people. And along with this, yes, as you can see, this is one of the applications that we developed for getting the camera. Okay, using our camera, whatever the cam scanner we have, no, the same thing that we are going to utilize. For example, if I scan this particular content, you can convert this to, as you can see, I just copied it. As you can see, I'm just taking this part. Okay, it is going to be converted to text by the image. Image is going to convert it to text. Now you can see it is scanning. After this, you can see. Can you see this? Whatever the image is scanned right now, it has been shown as text in front of you. Now this text can be converted to any language, any global language. As you can see, I'm just converting this to Kannada. Okay, I'll just show you. Wait, Kannada. Okay. Wait a minute. I'll just convert this to Kannada. Using this utilizes the Google Map, that is the language conversion, translate. Okay, so using this we can convert this to any language. Now you can see this got converted to Kannada. Now you can listen to this. Can you hear that?
Yes, sir.
No, automatically it will convert whatever the text it is having. It is really converted to whatever the image we have that has been taken in by the camera. Using that has been converted to text. that text can be converted to any language as per our requirement. As you can see, right now it is showing the Arabic. Okay, it can be converted to any language as per our wish. Okay, so this is the one application. Next to this, there are so many things we have. Okay, but I'm just demonstrating few of the components to you. And this is what the audio player. I think I demonstrated this audio player few in the starting session itself. Audio player. This was the audio player developed with the advanced features. What we see here, it is having almost the advanced features of this will be available for the professional version of whatever the things we have, but we are providing it for free. Okay, so this is one of the application along with this. And here is one sample of the web view that we developed for our client. Okay, for our client, as you can see, this is one of the applications. I'm not demonstrating because there are some more modifications that need to be done for this application. So this is the web view content. Okay, next to this, we have some more. Wait a minute. Just a moment. Yes. I'm just checking for that should be whatever the contents I'm showing to you, that should be feasible for you. And here is one more. Okay, if your phone is been stolen by someone, okay, for intimating this, something like there is an option to enable the provide an alternative number. When your SIM card is being changed, automatically that will be the message will be sent with who is using this particular new SIM card number and the IMEI number, that will be loaded and sent to the whatever the number which has been provided here. So it is an application that we developed long back, very long back in the year, I think 2014 we developed this. 2014 we developed this. So this application comes with anti-theft features. So if your phone is lost, that will be given with the alternative number with the location where exactly the user is located. That feature is also enabled here. So this is one of the applications that we developed long back. Along with this, some more features. That's what I don't remember where exactly the things are, but I tried my level best to show some of the applications for you people. Because I'm not using this phone. This was a very old phone. Yes, this is one of the applications that we developed for getting the sensors. Okay, as you can see here, this is a sensor. Okay, whatever the sensors right now I'm showing you, these are the sensors available on your phone. Okay, right now you can see this is with respect to the motion sensors. Whatever the motion sensors we are having in our phone, all the sensors are working. Okay, and we can see the values of those sensors. If I want to see the position sensors, because these are motion sensors, if I click on position sensor, as you can see here, if I click on start, it will start calculating the position sensor, whatever the sensors related to positioning, that will be displayed here. Okay, next to this we are having environment and sensor. If you click on this, it will get all the environment sensors, something like the ambient temperature, light, that is a proximity sensor, will be using this. As you can see, I'm using the proximity sensor. If I close the sensor, proximity sensor, it came to 0. If I open it, yeah, wait a minute. Yes, it got closed. Yeah. Now I click on start, environment sensor. I click on start. Now, environment sensor, start. If I close the proximity sensor, it will come to 0. You can see this. I started closing it. It came to 0. So this is how the sensors are going to be working for you. Okay, so I'm just demonstrating some of the applications, but that our mobile applications will be compatible with the hardware, whatever the hardware we are present in the mobile, that also can be incorporated in our applications. To explain that, I'm just demonstrating this application for you. So after this, I think we are having text to speech option. So you can see we can convert the text to speech. Whatever the text you type here, that will be converted as text. Or else if I talk something, hello, how are you? As you can see. So this is how it is going to be converted. These are very common and very, very simple things that I'm demonstrating to you people. Hello, how are you? So as you can see here, the text has been converted. So there are so many APIs available. So you can utilize the APIs for your application. That is application programming interface for your application. That will be converted as per your requirements, whatever the requirements you are having. And recently we are developing some more applications that we calculate using something like a scale. For example, whatever the Google measure option is there, no, we are planning to replicate the same using the structure of our own, whatever the architecture of our own. So we are planning for it, and it's still it is in development state. So here are some of the examples I just shown to you people. Okay, so I hope that this is what I just demonstrated. I think it was useful for you people. So you came to know what exactly we can do, how exactly we can develop, right? So that's what one thing. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Karthik, sir, for your wonderful presentation. I'm sure that all the students are particularly happy about seeing all the applications that you have demonstrated. And probably in the future days to go, our students will try to develop similar kind of an applications, or even better than the applications what you have shown.
Sure, sir. That's what we require from.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I am happy that there is a lot of takeaway from this workshop, and I believe that students will be able to inculcate their mindset and try to develop different kinds of application during this lockdown period. So passion is what that actually drives you the most. So if you have enthusiasm and passion, you can do a lot of wonders and a lot of things can be done. So with this note, I thank everybody to attend this, who have attended this particular function and made this function a successful one. Thanks to my organizers, my peer organizers, my non-teaching staff, and of course my resource person, Dr. Karthik Ganapathy sir, who is always there with us whenever we called upon. So in spite of his busy schedule, he was able to accept our invitation and able to join the session and able to deliver the content to the students. So is also driving a lot of internship program to the students. So if any students who is very interested in learning the technologies from Karthik sir, you can always contact Karthik sir directly, or you can call us back. We are there to connect you to Karthik sir. Okay, and one important point that I want to add, Karthik sir is having lot of certifications with respect to different technologies like cybersecurity, ethical hacking, Android development. He's a certified developer, and he has developed numerous different kinds of applications for different vendors. So right now he's doing so many applications for US-based projects. And I'm sure that even though in spite of his busy schedule today, he has joined our session and made the session much more interesting and fascinating part. So with that note, thank you, Karthik sir, for your valuable knowledge that you have shared with all of us. I'm sure that students will has got a lot of takeaways at the end of the session. And
thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And if there is any questions from the students, and we will always there to come and approach you. We are always there to trouble you again. So hope please don't mind if we call you back. So with that note, thank you, sir. All. Prasanna sir, anything that you want to conclude? Prasanna sir, over to you. Prasanna sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
over
you,
to you,
Sudhir,
sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I thank Karthik Ganapathy sir for the wonderful session. And I thank Sudeep sir, and also I thank all of you for attending the session and learning so many things about Android development. Thank you, one and all.
Okay, so that concludes our presentation. In future days, if you are interested, we would like to conduct some more sessions from Karthik sir. Please feel free to talk to us, students, and if you are interested, we'll conduct some more future classes connected to the different technologies. With that note, I thank everyone for this wonderful session. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay home. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Nagendra sir, you can stop the recording and
Sir, Nagendra sir, photo ತಗೋಬೇಕಾ?
on photo ತಗೊಂಬಿಡಿ sir. I request all the participants to enable your camera.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you one for joining the session.
Thank you all. Okay. All the best for all the students. All the best for your career. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Karthik sir.